All right. So this reminds me of a couple of years ago when I was first advertising or promoting or showing people how to make the jelly juice, right? And so it seems like we're coming full circle, and now I am showing you how to freaking eat because the jelly juice was dislodging and activating your current programming, and then also waking up the old programming and allowing the body to purge it out. But you also, the other side of it, which we finally figured out a couple of years later, is that you actually have to feed the new programming. Okay, so it's not enough to develop autophagy, autophagy, whatever. Now you have to feed the new programming. And so, yeah, my dog is like an example, but I've been showing you guys that I eat all food. I don't, diet or discriminate against any food. And if you understand that the body, the animal body and the human body needs fatty acid, amino acid, prohormones, and minerals, and it has to be in all different types of forms, sometimes it's easy to just give it in a regular, like food, like adult food form like this. But the animal doesn't always eat things like adult food. So then you have to bottle feed it, especially if they are more juvenile than mature. And so I wanted to show you just so you have an idea of where I'm coming from, so you get it on your end, and then you can figure out what works for you and your family and your animals and whatever. But I've used this thing called Advanced RX supplement, and it is enhanced with colostrum, superior nourishment for puppy development, ideal for pregnant or lactating dogs, powerhouse of antibodies for aging dogs. Okay, so this is like for the animal on both ends, young and old, because it's really young that you're actually feeding. This is a Similac that I was using until I was getting this, because this came from Chewy and this came from DoorDash. But this is still good too. It's still a complete nutrition. And then I also added in this. This is for me that I actually bought a couple weeks ago because I was wanting to eat baby food. And I guess that was like a predictive programming. And so I added this also into it. And then I made those little pies that have like the vegetables and her kibble that I soaked in milk, plus then the pedigree chunks that are either like, that are like this. This is like Rachel Ray's stuff. Okay, like this. Oh yeah, here we go. Or then I would add in also this stuff, this baby food, mealtime for baby and stuff. And yeah, you can add in like bananas, you can add in carrots, you can add in cabbage. And so the milk is the base. And then I add in all of this solid food. Okay? If she's not gonna eat this on her own, then I just add it into this. And I even add in some water or more milk. I'll probably add in some water because all of this is gonna thicken it up. And it's probably giving her her poop form. And so it's something that's even like dog food that she has, like right there, that's her pedigree kibble, or not kibble, but the meat, and then more of the pie that I made. And so it looks like this. This is, I don't feed her this. I did, but she chewed off the top. I don't want her to choke on it, so I just cut it off and use it as a pour thing. And so I pour it into those. One on the left is water, the other one on the right is this. And so I keep it at basically room temperature because there's no reason to keep it cold. She's going to be drinking it throughout the day. Then I store it in like these jars. Now this looks like it has a bunch of minerals, but yeah, I had water in that at some point. And so I store it in these jars. And so that way I have stuff ready for her. And so for a human, yeah, when you need to get vast amounts of nutrition, especially those with cancer, you need to pull out the old programming and bring in something like this, where you're drinking like meat milkshakes or something. You're drinking so many calories and so many fatty acid, amino acid, prohormones, and minerals. And so that is the necessity that's so necessary for all cancer patients, for all people who are dealing with disease. They are dealing with microbial babies that are waking up, and they need bioavailable nutrition. And so adults, when you think about it, adults need to be the ones who are taking all the baby food, because they have to bring in their intelligence. Because what's the point of starting over again with the baby who have to then train how to even live in the society and give them all the baby food when you have adults that are needing this stuff and they have all the intelligence, they have all the innovation. Why let innovation die? That's what's crazy, is that we allow grandma with so much innovation, so much intelligence, so much life experience, and then we're catering to a baby that has absolutely no life experience, no frame of reference, has to be taught from square one, and grandma has all the knowledge in the world and could even add more knowledge to her. But we've been doing it backwards. We keep reinventing the fucking wheel. So when you think about it, those with cancer patients, those with issues, need to be feeding themselves something like this when you think about it. And they need to be drinking a whole bunch of this, and they need to feed those little babies and release those demons, which are the old programming, the old fecal plug that's stuck in their colon, causing them so much strife. Okay? And so when I add all this stuff together, and let's see, how would I do this? Let me do, I go, there we go, this way, okay. Hi, there I am. I hear my dog going upstairs. And so I wonder if I go like this. Can you see me? All right. And so, you know, I have like a basket of this. This is like a bottle cleaner, right? And I have things to brush your teeth with. This is like you stick, you know, your finger in, you brush the teeth. These are the little scoopers, okay? And then the little nipples for the bottles and stuff like that. And so, I don't know. I mean, I can't really tell you how I measure. I don't really measure. I just put in what I think is appropriate. Because I'm going to add water to this anyways. But this is for my dog because I put in like some Similac in this. Maybe I'll put 2 scoops of Similac or something. Alright. Then I put 2 scoops of the Advanced Milk RX. And this is what saved her life. That's the thing. This is what saved my dog's life. Because I had to power feed her this stuff. When you power feed, man, you are racing against time. You're racing against those babies that will eat up the parent or eat up the food that you're giving it. And so you have to literally feed the kids and feed yourself. That's what cancer disease and chronic illness is you're competing with an entity inside of you that is trying to take over, but it needs to because that's the evolution. That's what people keep trying to oncologize is their evolution. And then they end up destroying themselves because when you destroy the kids, you destroy the parents. You have to feed the kids or release them, but you cannot destroy the kids. And so I'm adding in this. And then I add in probably some water. Let's see. I could use this. I hear my dog upstairs. Let me add in some more water. Just like, all right. Okay, and then I add in, so I got this already, with this. Then I add in some of this stuff that I made the other day around Thanksgiving. And so this is for the parents too. I mean, literally, this is like when you realize that when you can bottle feed a dog and they take to the bottle, you can power feed them, you can give them so much diverse food. And they also have to poop too, so you have to make sure that you encourage them to poop. There are ways to do that without being invasive. Okay, and so there's that. And then here is her pedigree food. I put in a little bit of this. This is like basically a meat shake. This is a protein shake. This is literally a protein shake for a dog. Okay? An 11-year-old dog that's like a freaking puppy. Alright, and wash my hands. Could have just used. And I put that fish in too. Today I gave her some of that fish, like one little tail of that fish, and I put it in the blender and all that stuff. So she got some, her oils, her fatty acid, fish oil stuff. Alright, oh, here's more of this. More of this, it's fine. Okay. I probably should add more water because it's really thick. Okay. Alright, so there's that. All of that is, okay. Add more water. Wash my hands. It's so we're not showing you cabbage and salt. Now you gotta freaking feed yourself. You gotta feed the evolution, everybody. You can't starve your babies because you will starve the parent. You cannot starve the babies. And that's what cancer patients do. They starve the babies, and that's why they die. That's why people die. So now you literally have to strategically feed yourself the nutrition so everybody gets it in your body. And then and I have this blender, and then if I want to make it thicker, I'll add more stuff to it. And I pour that into whatever jars for storage. And that's the power drink. So if you guys, like Audrey, you're going to use soy protein, maybe you add in some vegetables, maybe you might even add in some bacon or some other type of protein, and you can just drink your meals. And every so often eat like something that gives it form. But I'll tell you, when you drink your meals that are so chock full of proteins and fatty acids, amino acids, and prohormones and minerals, that's a lot of direct nutrition to the body when you think about it. But it's something to get used to, because people are like, well, won't you be diarrheaing everywhere? Well, at this point, you got to release. I don't know if you're going to die. I haven't done this for myself, so I couldn't really tell you how it's going to come out. But when I'm with my dog, when I'm feeding her mostly this type of way, she has solid poops that come out. They're actually even hard packed when you think about it. Okay, so the body's temperature, the biochemistry actually cooks the poop and makes it into the form of the intestines. No different than what you've seen in the blood clots in those, in the blood veins of those who are embalming people and pulling out, like you saw that, pulling out the clots. Might need to wrap my head around the meat and veg shake. Well, yeah, understood. But yeah, so when you're eating something or putting together meat and vegetables and fruits and everything all into one blender, into a shake like that, and then you're just downing it like really quickly, your body will cook it up, and then most likely, I would think, you would pass it in the shape of your intestines. Okay? And so the only reason why you get diarrhea is because you're drinking something like salt and water. But if you're drinking like salt and water, it won't be just diarrhea. It will be actually even a form of so much poop. It'll be such a messy poop, because it needs to be, because you have so much sludge in your system. That's what we were doing in the beginning of the JJ world, was we were releasing so much of the old world, and we still had to systemically find all the old world that was scattered all over our systems. And so that took time to go through those layers and layers and layers of hydra that were waking up. And then the antibodies, our autoantigen, self-antigen, then had to go and find all the infiltrators and go and annihilate them and send them on their way out the body. And that's then through your colon, and you have to keep pulling out the programming. And so, I would try it, Odd. I would try taking, here's the thing, because even if you did like a little bit of meat, like that you couldn't even taste it. When it's all pureed, you can't really taste it. It's when you season meat when you can taste it, right? And then you have a bunch of fruit and vegetables. That's going to actually overpower the meat when you think about it. So when you add the meat, the veggies, obviously you see how the percentages. If you have more meat than you have the fruits and vegetables, they'll taste more meaty. Okay? And so when you have a milkshake and you have a little bit of meat, a lot more fruits and veggies, and you had in other types of vegetarian proteins like the soy powder, you can get, and then you add more fat and add something else to it. I mean, you can add whatever you want. You might even have aftertastes of certain things that are like protein, like pork or something. But I mean, it would be such an interesting experiment with food. With when you process food right down to its most, fermented state, or down to its most infinitesimal state, then you're getting that bioavailable nutrition. And it's not just like all the smoothie people where it's just a fruit and the veggies and that's it. Oh no, you have now a complete shake. And that's what saved my dog, was the complete meat, milk, everything, fruit, vegetable, everything shake. And so then adding in, of course, this stuff from the Vet RX. You know, Milk RX supplement. And I can't even read right now because it's not much light in here. Let me see what is in here. I could look. God. Animal and vegetable fat, direct whey protein, concentrate, direct whey. Is it direct? Yeah. Sodium, something, diet. Okay. There's a bunch of stuff in this. All right. So, and you can add even in carrots too. You can add in cabbage. I could probably add cabbage in there too. But right now, this is okay. I might add in more stuff. But that's the idea, okay, is that you take all the food that's in its solid form, especially if you have cancer, disease, chronic illness, and or you're trying to, release the demons and feed your children's cells and get them mature enough so they can go release more of the demons, then I don't see why a shake wouldn't actually be the most direct thing. I don't see why it wouldn't be. It would be. All right, bye.